We celebrate this year's Lifetime Achievement Award, and what a deserving recipient tonight with an amazing compilation of work.
With more on that, and to present this year's award, is TRC board member Marie Karuba.
I literally drew the short straw tonight in getting to nominate and present Greg. Thanks, Vicki. When I was asked to introduce Greg Peterson tonight, my first thoughts were, where do I start? I could tell you that he was named one of the best lawyers in America, or that he had interviewed more celebrities in Jamestown other than Jim Roselli, and that he was a fan of the Detroit Tigers, but most of you know that already. My next thought was, where was Kay Neri, the heart and soul of the Resource Center, to fill me in on some detail that only she could recall, since she had been there from almost the beginning and knew Greg as well as anybody. Kay also knew where the skeletons were hidden. Only kidding, Greg, but you know where they are. Unfortunately, Kay's gone, as are many of the people who have retired or left that I knew way back when, and regrettably, I am now one of the 7 old-timers who have been connected to TRC for more than 34 years, and that group includes Greg. Michael Raymond, the executive director in the late 70s, a brash young man with an infectious laugh and an extraordinary vision, never took no for an answer. He had an incredible way of attracting the best and the brightest, which led to Greg's eventual involvement with TRC through his partner Sherwood Cadwell, who had a personal interest because of a relative with an intellectual disability. Michael Raymond was also a risk taker, and a lot of people knew that all too well. And if he hadn't been willing to take a chance on a lawyer fresh out of law school in 1983, I would have never met Greg Peterson. We lawyers are a different bunch, and we tend to think differently than other people, and Greg is someone who can always find a way to connect things that no one else would think relates to each other. For example, in the 1980s, Greg managed to get TRC named the official season ticket broker for the Jamestown Expos, a single-A pro baseball team. And through this relationship, also managed to arrange for the team to train with players with disabilities from TRC's softball team. He expanded the idea to include AAA Bison's baseball players and Buffalo Bills football players to meet TRC service recipients. Something so commonplace now wasn't even much thought of back then, athletes meeting with people with disabilities, but this was the brainchild of Greg Peterson. In 1997, Greg was one of the founding members of TRC Foundation as he brought in people who we knew could make it a reality. No one knew then how much it would grow and support the mission of TRC, but Greg knew. Everyone also knows how Greg has been involved with the Robert H. Jackson Center and how he has brought national attention to Supreme Court Justice Jackson's hometown. But not everyone knows how Greg connected this to the Resource Center. For all the non-lawyers, attorneys are required to take continuing legal education classes to maintain their licenses, and Greg came up with the most novel idea one day. In 2011, he came to the TRC Foundation and said he had an idea for a CLE class, which was Woodstock, the music of the First Amendment. Now you might ask, how has this anything to do with TRC or the law? In his wisdom, Greg thought this would be an opportunity for the TRC participants to tie-dye T-shirts and provide them to all the attorneys. The shirts were a big hit with everyone, and if you turned over the shirt, the back was a promotion for the TRC and its wonderful staff. Free advertising, and how clever indeed to connect attorneys and possible donors to TRC. I can't remember. The year it started, but Greg's love of baseball would win out again as he proposed having a TRC board meeting at Russell E. Dietrich Park, the home of the Jamestown Jammers. We did it once every summer, and it made for a very interesting meeting as we dodged balls during batting practice, wrestled with papers blowing in the wind, shouted over the music, and swatting the ever-present Yellow Jackets. The board members here will remember that, I'm sure. Those are some of the liveliest board meetings we ever had. While we have discontinued the board meeting at the ballpark, The Greg Peterson night lives on, and I was told has repeatedly been the best attended game of the season, with over 900 people this past summer. And did I mention the Greg Peterson T-shirts? Greg always had an idea about shirts. Greg even managed to keep the biggest donors from leaving a meeting after they were insulted by a TRC staff member who told an offensive ethnic joke and didn't know who his donors were. It took a lot of quick thinking to smooth that one over, and Greg was quite stilled at that. No one left, and no one resigned. In short, Greg has been there for the Resource Center for as long as I can remember. He has been there for the good times and even some of the not-so-good times. He has helped us through all the executive directors' transitions, some smooth and some not so smooth. No one has been more dedicated or championed the cause of TRC, and it is with great pleasure that I present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Greg Peterson.
Would you favor us with a few words, Greg?
Vicki made the terrible mistake that you have the mic. First of all, I want to thank those presenters. They did a great job tonight. Janelle McIntyre, Kyle Keller, and Abby Adams. At the same time, I'd like to call up, if I could, while I begin my remarks, so Jennifer Felice, if you would please come forward. Jennifer. I go back over 40 years, and I'm just so honored with this award as it reflects not on what I did, but it reflects on what everybody here has done throughout those years. I want to thank my managing partner came down tonight. I want to thank Kevin Hogan. And Kevin Hogan may not remember, but Kevin was a presenter, Marie, at that event, which in fact he was forced to wear that particular shirt so that we could get CLE credits. And I frankly forgot about it, but thank you, because we had the entire place packed because of Woodstock, the music of the First Amendment, and everybody had to wear the shirt in order to get CLE credits. So they did, and thank you. It was a great presentation. That was really magical. And I'm just so thrilled that Jennifer could be here. Jennifer, I want you, I'm going to stay with me on this one, okay?
Yep.
Okay, please do. Because I wanted to thank Phillips Lytle. I wanted to thank, because it really dates back, as Marie said, to Sherry Cadwell, my mentor, my boss, who he had a family member that was involved in developing a disabled program, and he wanted me at a very young age. I had just graduated, passed the bar in 1977, to be involved with the Resource Center, and introduced me to this young guy that you appropriately mentioned, Mike Raymond. You know, what a ride that was. And I will not get into the detail, and as much as I miss Kay Neri, and she did know where the skeletons were, and I probably know where they are. So collectively, I'm glad we're not talking about it. But what's remarkable is the Resource Center, and I've been involved, again, as I said, over 40 years, the continuity and the great qualities of their leadership. And the leadership takes the form of board members. Many of them are here in the audience, and that's probably Mike Raymond calling in. Only Kay and I would laugh at that one, but if that's Mike calling, I'll take it. We talk about leadership, and we talk about Mike Raymond and Paul Shazana, and we talk about Denise Field. And you're Denise Jones. I knew when to choose Denise. That just goes how far back I go. Denise Jones. But the point is that it's over 40 years, and there's only been 3 executive directors. That's a remarkable statement. Remarkable. And that's a real benefit of having quality family members who are participants in the board of directors who pick quality leaders. And that has happened throughout. And we've been here for nigh on to 50 years as an organization helping those who are developmentally disabled. And I'm here, and it was great. I really enjoyed, Marie, the rundown of those things, many of which I kind of passed by and forgotten. But it really, I'm here just representative of people standing on the shoulders of family members, the ones who work so closely. Your mom and dad, Jennifer, have always been just terrific supporters of yours, and they're the ones that got me intimately involved to a next generation. That's why I'm just so glad you're here, Jennifer. And to talk about the friends, the donors, the board members, the employees, all of those folks who just give so much of their time and talent for an incredible cause, for incredible people. And you have folks like the Websters here, Dennis and Sheila, who in fact give of their time terrifically. Dennis, day in, day out for I don't know how many years you've been getting the story out, and sometimes it's not often an easy story. Sometimes these are stories which are in fact hard to articulate, but he does it so well, and I know he wouldn't have been able to do all of that without Sheila. So, really, let's give the Websters a hand, because sometimes they just do it and don't get the recognition. And as most of you know, I could go on. But I also know the mind can absorb only what the rear can endure. So let me draw a closure. And what I want to do tonight is I received this award, and my name's on it, Lifetime Achievement Award, Greg Peterson. But I just stand here on behalf of all those who are here and all those who are special people, those with work which we do for the clients, those who have the developmentally disabled, who are making great strides, great achievements. And I, for one, would like to give to Jennifer my award. So you can have that, and please share that. And you guys, emblematic of all those people that we do the work for. And Jennifer, Felice, thank you very much. Thank you. So, all yours.
And as Greg recognized my wife, I would like to recognize his, Cindy, right here. Mm-hmm. That does conclude the awards portion of our program tonight. Why don't we give all of our recipients and their families another round of applause?